What up brothers, it's Clipper King returning for a brand new review today on the figure we see in front of us, and as you can see it's Hot Toys, X-Men Days of Future Past, Wolverine. I hope you all watched the unboxing video I did on Friday and also the head swap video I did. I put this head on the previous Wolverine figures that we've had so far, and I just showed what it would look like on those figures. So I hope you've checked those out. If not, not to worry, because the full review is coming up now. I will start off by saying I did receive two, thanks to Anthony Sang, Budget Stark out there in Hong Kong. Please check out his YouTube channel, and I will also say, because I know I'll get asked more now the review goes up, did the spare one sell? It sold yesterday via eBay to a guy called Bruce Auckland. So massive thanks to him, massive thanks to Anthony for sending me in first place, and if you do still want to pick it up, if you ask Budget Stark, he might be able to sort that out for you. Right, so let's roll on to the review. As you can see, I've now got the figure rotating, so you can see it from all angles. And we'll crack on and talk about the source material. Like I've said when I've done the other versions of Wolverine, I think Wolverine as a standalone character is really strong in Marvel Universe. It's just a shame they can't get him into the Avengers, because after Spiderman, I think he would be the fans' favourite to join. But obviously down to contract, I think Fox have got it, so that can't happen yet, but I think it would be the next highlight now Spider-Man has been confirmed. So the source material on any Wolverine figure would be really strong, because he's a figure I like and a figure that most Marvel fans would like. He's just something really cool about him, kind of the anti-hero, or started off kind of like an anti-hero, but now he's just flat out badass basically. On the film, and taking the film into account also, I did watch Days of Future Past at the cinema, and I've also bought it on Blu-ray. I do really like the film, and it'd probably be between that and X-Men 2 as my favourite X-Men films. I think it's quite clever in a lot of ways, namely the fact that it tries to eradicate Last Stand, which I didn't mind Last Stand, but I can understand why they've done it. But also, I will say the film is full with a lot of plot holes as well, but I don't let that bother me too much. I just take it on. Did I enjoy it? Would I watch it again? And the answer is yes. I think all these Marvel films are pretty strong at the moment, but I never judge them as classics. So I think if I take into account the film and Wolverine as a whole, I would probably give him a 4 out of 5 for source material. Before I cut away and repose it and talk packaging, just give you a look at the head sculpt coming round, and also the body armour, so you can fully see the detail. Obviously I'll be covering this more when I get to the outfit. I just thought while he's rotating it would give you a good chance to have a good look. Moving on to the packaging, I'll start off by saying it is just a shoebox design like we normally see on the Wolverine figures. This time they've opted for a movie still shot of Hugh Jackman, and it is reminiscent of the expression on the sculpt, which I quite like. You see the blue X across the front with the eye gloss sections. Moving down in the background you see the Sentinels. Moving down to the bottom corner, the Hot Toy symbol and the MMS 264. Moving across there. So pretty standard all the way around. I will say the shot they've chose of Wolverine, I think it shows that his beard or his sideburns are a lot bushier than the figure represents. Not really a problem because the head sculpt is still really good, but I don't know, nothing out of the ordinary. Standard through and through, I would say. Moving on to the back, it is pretty standard still, but I will say I do like the screaming shot of Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. I think that would have been a nice option for a spare head sculpt, but they don't seem to do that. A couple more points of interest. You do get the Hot Toys details there, and then Secret Base contact details and Toy Hunters contact details. So yeah, that's just thought I'd point that out. Moving down, the Marvel hologram, which shows that this figure came from Hong Kong, which I haven't tried to hide. Any reviewers, if you see trying to do a review on this figure and they're covering that up, or they do show it, it shows that that figure has come from Hong Kong. So if they are advertising for Sideshow, Optobotomus, and you're still reviewing from Hong Kong, then really you shouldn't, because you've grassed other people up for doing the same thing. But onto the score for the packaging, I'm going straight down the line, and I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. Moving on to the likeness, and there's nothing I can really tell you that the pictures haven't told you already. It is clearly the best Hugh Jackman sculpt that we've had so far from Hot Toys. It is pretty much bang on. Only thing, like I mentioned when I was doing the packaging, is the sideburns are a little bit thinner on the figure than they would need to be movie accurate. But I'm kind of glad they did that, because this sculpt will kind of work with any of your 4 Wolverine figures. If you just pop the head off, put them onto the other bodies, it would work any look you wanted. I think they've gone pretty accurate with the grey through the hair. And I will say, and I don't know if you picked it up on the pictures, the hair sculpt alone, when I compared it to the other ones, particularly the X-Men Origins one and the Wolverine one, this hair sculpt looks HD where they look standard definition, if that makes sense to you. There just seems to be a lot more sections of hair through this one. Like the Last Stand one were really good as well on the hair sculpt, but yeah, it was just one of the really notable things. I think the eyes have got depth and the expression is sort of just aggressive enough. Sometimes people say it's a little bit too neutral. I can understand that opinion. It's probably not grimacing enough, but I think it works with most posers. And yeah, I really like it. Not much more I can say. If I move it back a touch, actually, I might be able to get a little bit more light on it. Yeah. A bit more light into its eyes. People have asked about the curl on the front. It is kind of flexible and it is just attached obviously into the main section of hair, so I don't think it would snap. Yeah, not I can't say what the pictures are showing you, to be honest. It's just a really good likeness. I'll just show you the pose before we move on. So I've just got him with his fists across his chest in an upright position. So, pretty nice. Like I said, the head sculpt is pretty faultless. Anybody who says it's not the best would be lying to you. They're trying to defend their own figure. When Uncle Clipper tells you something, boys, yeah, it's fact. We know that. We know that's the best Hugh Jackman sculpt we've had so far, so we recognise. So on the likeness, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. And on to the outfit. And I will say, when I received this figure, there were a couple of things that I was surprised about in a good way, and a couple of things, not in a bad way, but in a niggly way. So we'll try and make them clear here. Main part of the outfit, obviously the body section. It is sculpted in a pretty hard plastic, so you don't need me to tell you it does kill the ab crunch, articulation, and the sort of the rotation a little bit. So if I show it you see it is all one hard piece, so that's understandable. What I will say is, when I've checked movie stills, it does look really accurate. The use of the plastics is really good. You see, you do get a little bit of battle damage sort of section here, and then sort of marks down here. It is this dimple effect armour, which they've done really well. The slits down the side with the yellow showing underneath, I think it tips its cap a little bit to the standard or the old school Wolverine outfit. You see it's got all the buckles and everything tied there. Moving down into the trouser section. Now, I thought the trouser section would be where the hindrance would be. I thought they'd be really tight, and it would, because of the build-up of the boot, it would hinder his articulation. Not the case. You've got this rather nice pleat down here and here. You get the 3 slit design sort of there and there, which do aid the articulation, as you see there and there. Moving down, the knee pad. I really like this because it's sort of a lower section knee pad under the upper section. When it's stood upright, that bit traps underneath that, but while he's posed like he is now, you can see it splits. Same with the boot. It is just a shin guard and then the lower section of boot. I'm not buzzing about the style of the boot. It is a little bit too futuristic looking for me, but I think it is movie accurate. To show you this knee, you see the 2 sections of pad are together. I will say both knee pads are different as well. It's a different sculpt, but it works in the same way. Again, moving down to the boot, there is good ankle articulation because it is just a separate shin guard. So I do like that about it. Now, I don't know what I were expecting with the sort of undersuit, the lycra section on the arms. But I like it in one way, but I dislike it in another. But I'm going to put it into another pose to demonstrate what I mean. Before I move on, I will just show you that pose. Going pretty much leaping off. I want it to show a tight bend through one elbow, tight bend through a knee, and then sort of the movement through his shoulder, sort of here. So yeah, before I do move on, somebody mentioned something about, do the spikes come out of his hand at the right place? I will say on the non-clawed hands, you can see the dimple there, there and there. That is where his blades would come through. And also on there and there, can you see it's crack between the fingers. Now if you look at the hand, it is sort of on the front section of his hand. Once his fist's clenched, they do come down sort of lower than the knuckles between the fingers. So I think that is pretty correct. Some might disagree, but I think it's about right. If I show you on this one, I think they've done a really good job of them. Again, they are metal. They do look really good. So let me just get him reposed and I'll talk about the arms. So moving back in. Firstly, let's have a look at the appearance of the arms. As you can see, let me get in close. As you can see, it is the finest of fine sort of lycra. And I'm thinking finer than Superman's, probably finer than Spiderman's. It is really, really fine, which does show the muscle definition for it. As you can see his tricep going in there. You don't really see the hinge because it's pulled tight enough, and I'll show you how they do that. You see the armoured section here is just kind of glued on. Same here, same down here. Two sections at the back. You see, it all does move with a costume. So on appearance, it looks really good. Now, when I'm reading the warning messages, it tells you not to rub this arm. Now, I'm thinking, if that's the case, what will happen? Nah, I think, I can demonstrate. You can see then it goes to a blue and into a black, but watch when you stretch it. You see, it's all still yellow underneath. So to me, it looks like the blue section and the black have been printed on to the flat yellow. So I'm thinking, if it is just painted on, like here, there's a tiny little bit where you can see the yellow through the blue. And I think over time, will that start becoming more apparent, if you know what I mean? I can't mark it down really because it hasn't done that, but like I said, when you do stretch it or put it into a position like that, look, you can see the yellow through the black. So that is just a thing to keep an eye on, and probably the only niggle on it, like there, you see a little bit of the yellow through the blue. But the design is awesome, and I will say, make another point, that the armour here, it's not just glued on, it's actually through the suit and attached to his arm. So you rotate the arm into a specific position, and that bit of armour will stay with it. That's attached to the suit, that's attached to the suit, that is attached to the arm, and that's just attached to the suit, so that will move freely. Really, really good work they've done on it, and like I said, the appearance is really good, but I just worry a little bit that if you start bending it, particularly around the elbow sections there, and sort of in there, you are going to rub away some of the blue or black that's painted onto this yellow. We'll just point out the highlighted sections there and there, which look movie accurate. The X on the belt with a canvas belt. Everything's really nice. Like I said, I went from the pose to that, and the boots just do what you want them to do. So yeah, I do like it. What else did I want to mention? No, I think that's about it for the outfit. It works really well, and like I say, although that does play on my mind about the sleeves, I'm glad they've done it how they have. Oh, I know what I wanted to mention. The reason that it pulls taut all the time, let me pull these gloves off, is because when you pop a glove off, look, it is sort of glued in place round the wrist peg. So there is still a little bit of movement in it, but it traps it down to stop pushing up when you put the glove on and off. See what I mean? That's not coming off there. I do like that idea as well, because I did that with my Superman outfit to stop it pulling up and sort of over-rucking in his elbow section. So I do like that as well. So a lot to like about it. Again, like I said, it does play in my mind a little bit what the suit will do over time. The hard section here does hinder the torso articulation, but not annoyingly so. And I would say also, watch the collar against the jawline, because you don't want to rotate it and start scuffing paint off of that or the underside of the beard. So be careful with that. But on looks alone, I would give the outfit, I would give it a 5 out of 5. Moving on to articulation, and because I've pretty much just covered a lot of this, I'll fly through it. So starting off with the head, it attaches on a ball joint at the upper neck. It is a sculpted neck down into a chest. The Torso articulation is really limited down to the thick plastic body armour. I like the fact that it keeps its accurate look over the movement in there, so that doesn't really bother me. It would have bothered me if it would have only been a single bend elbow, because it kills your articulation and your poses. It isn't. The arms move smoothly, they are tight, it is a double bend elbow, and they've come up with a way so the armoured section does move nicely with the arms. So I do really like the arms. The arms are top notch. Moving on, the hands swap on and off really nicely, like you would hope. Showing got a nice tight curl for his arms. Not much movement through the torso, as I've showed. I've crunched up at the hips and then tightly done his knees to show they are double jointed knees. The top of the legs are limited a little bit due to the tight trousers, but like I said, the fact that it's got pleats, it does help a little bit. Moving down, like I showed with the sections of the knee pad, it doesn't really hinder the knee articulation, and also the lower leg articulation is really good. You see you've got pivot through the ankles do move freely because it is just a booted section, and then up into the thigh, the shin guards, which again is a really nice touch, and I'm glad they didn't go for one-piece boots, because that would have also killed the articulation. So I do really like it, and I was pleasantly surprised when I got it, because I thought these arms, if they look good, they're not going to work right, but they do work really well. Same with the legs, torso limitation, like I've said. So I don't want to keep going over old ground. I'm going to tell you the articulation has got a 4 out of 5. The body is awesome, but there is limitations by the suit. Moving on to extras or accessories. I'll move away, this shouldn't take long, and this is a section that really does piss me off. So what does he bring? Obviously he's got the clawed hands on. He doesn't bring that stand because that's the new Goblin stand. He brings a set of relaxed hands, which are gloved, as you can see. Really good sculpt on them. Very characteristic. I'm not sure if you're going to use them, because the clawed hands on a Wolverine are a must. A set of fisted hands, which again, nice addition, not sure if you're going to use them. A set of hand pegs, which I'm hoping the hand pegs wouldn't break on this figure, because I think to switch them ones out with the suit being glued to the other ones, it would be a fucking nightmare, but they have put them in. Instruction manual, which pretty much tells you be careful when you move his head, his arms, and don't try and remove the suit, and a generic stand. Now, when I think about accessories, I look at what it's got. Is it much? Are they important accessories? Are they just there for the sake of being there? Stuff like knives and that, would he have an hand that would hold them? Does he have a good selection of hands? Does he have gesturing hands? That sort of thing. Also, I think about, can I think of things that he should have brought that he hasn't brought, or if I were filling this package out or this set out, what more would I include? I would also look at what the other versions brought. Now, if you think back to the Last Stand version, it brought a diorama base, the Sentinel's head that lit up. Weren't an amazing extra, but it was there. The Wolverine set had a spare outfit. Again, I prefer the funeral suit which it came in, but it's there. It's something that you can use. It also brought the adamantium claws and the bone claws. This doesn't. Now, I'm going to tell you some things in this set that I would have liked. Now, a diorama base would have been nice. So something, I don't know, like a battlefield, something that you see in the early part of the film. The bed he lies on while she's controlling his brain. It could have brought that. It could have brought another sculpt. Now, the sculpt could have either been a major screaming head like on back at box, or a sculpt that would hold a cigar. I think that would have been a nice touch. They gave us neither. First scene that you see him, he walks off the sort of the spacecraft, and he uses a lighter to light a cigar. Don't include a cigar. Obviously don't include a hand that would hold a cigar, so you can't take a cigar from your Scarface figure. So them sort of things. The other outfit, now I can understand why they haven't given us the other outfit, because this outfit is attached to this body, so they wouldn't want to give you another outfit and then you're trying to strip this one down. I understand that, and it might have left the door open for Hot Toys to bring us the 70s look Wolverine, which is how you see him in most of the film. But the fact that this doesn't bring another outfit, it makes you think, well, the Wolverine one did, so why aren't this? I understand it because I've got the figure in hand and I see where the armour attaches to the body, so I do understand it. But as a set and for value for money, because they've done it before, it makes you want them to do it again. So there's a lot that he's got missing. And like I said, when a figure comes, you expect a stand anyway. You expect the instruction manuals and at least a couple of sets of hands, which is bare minimum. So I'm only going to give the extras a 1 out of 5. It is low, but I've seen too many figures now that brought too much stuff for me to begin this out better than a 1. So leading from that, I'm going to go straight into value. And I'm going to, like I said before, I never disclose the price I pay for a couple of reasons. Simply because I always think that when it comes to money, it's a deal between two people. So to give the information, you would need both's permission, so to speak, to talk about money. So I never talk about the buy on cost, so to speak. So I will say that day of release, I saw this on eBay for £220. That was the lowest shipped to England. I will say I bought 2, so I got a combined shipping discount, and one of them were really early pickup, so I paid less for both of mine than the prices I'd seen on eBay. I'm not going to say it was cheap because they're never ever cheap. I will also say that because I sold one on, the profit I made on the second one has sort of knocked off the cost of the first one. So mine is really, really good value now, if that makes sense to you. But if I talk about the price it's going for now, then it's fucking ridiculous because, like I said, I sold mine on Saturday morning and mine was by far the cheapest available in hand that I'd seen. And there was a guy on Facebook other day who fucking pissed me off big style. I'm not even going to give him a name mention because I don't want to help his channel or his 15 groups. He was selling at more than I sold my second one for. So I just want to make that clear. So yeah. The value for mine is pretty good, I've got to be honest, but the value that you guys would need to pay to get this in hand sometime this week, now you're looking at somewhere between 250 to 300. That's what I've seen them on eBay for, and they're the in-stock ones. If you want to wait, you can probably pick it up from a UK seller for around 150, I would think. At that price, I think it's really good value as regards that you're getting a really nice looking figure with an awesome head sculpt, but you're not getting a lot of bang for your buck because it brings fuck all. We've seen other versions of Wolverine that bring more stuff, so keep that in mind also. To score the value, like I say, I'm taking into account what you guys would need to pay for this. If you watch this review and try and buy one now, you're pretty much paying over odds. So I'm only giving the value a 2 out of 5, although I will thank Budget Stark again at this point and saying I never paid as much as I've seen it going for now, but I don't want to give that away. So, the overall score, I think what I'll do is I'll give you one more pause and we'll look at the phone and see who's guessed the overall score. So I think that's how I'm going to be displaying my Wolverine. I've pretty much took the liberty of adding him to Avengers. I know Marvel Studios can't do it that easy, but Uncle Rickster can. Don't you fucking worry about that. So I've chucked him in with them guys. Let's go to the phone and talk about the total score. If you've been adding up, you'll know if you're right already. But let's do some name checks, eh? Right, so I put it on, chucked it on 45 minutes ago. That's how long it's taken me to film this review. Game for today. If you can guess the total score for Wolverine, you get a name check in the review. So let's have a look. I'm as good as my word. They're pictures I put on. Let's have a look who said what. Watch for your names. It's 23 out of possible 35. So if I don't mention you, you've got it all fucking wrong. Look at them all. They've all had a cheeky little guess. They've all guessed wrong. They've gone too high. They didn't make allowances, I don't think, for lack of accessories. I think that's what they've done. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Moving down. Moving down. Nobody's even fucking close yet, you fucking idiot. Here we go. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. David Rushy Rushford. That lad. Sorry, I forgot outfit. It's 23. It is 23. Well done, Rushy. Let's have a look at your little avatar. What you got there? Don't even fucking know what that is. Can't work it out, so I can't even mention it. Well done to David. Clever lad he is. I think he's Scottish and all, so that's unusual because they're normally thick as fuck. He were close again, that lad. He's a good guesser. He's already had a name check, that lad. Fucking way too high, some of these. Some are close, some are too high. You're not as fucking clever as I've given you credit for. You're thinking I've been swayed because it's a new figure and I've put a lot of pictures on. That's what you're thinking. Thinking you're good. What the fucking hell's that idiot put? It's out of 35. Fucking recognise. Twig it, you moron. Let's have a look. Keep going, look. This lad's gone into full... Let's have a look. He's put a bit of effort in. Let's have a look. Source material he were right. Packaging he were right. Likeness he were right. Outfit, got that wrong, didn't he? Articulation he were right. Accessories, no. Wrong. Value, wrong. Gone just a bit over. You missed out. You missed out by 2 points, but not a bad guess, pal. Not a bad guess at all. When I retire soon, you can have my fucking job. Here we go. Look at him. Oh, shot too high. Rick, lad. I'm a mester now. I'm not a lad. How many's fucking had a go? Only been on 45 minutes. Posts are us. All trying to get involved in Uncle Clipper's channel. I do all fucking hard work. They just jump in. That's end. Bless them. They've all had a go. Only one's got it right. Well done, David. Well done. You're a clever lad. Give yourself a pat on back, pal. Give yourself a pat on back. Right. So, thanks to all you guys having a guess. Thanks to Budget Stark for sending them, mate. And thanks to Bruce Auckland for buying the second one that I had for sale on eBay. So, another review done. This is the Clipper King Brothers, and I am out of here.